let's get started.
You know, I forgot how the intro goes. I'll wing it. I'll get it. Whatever. Oh, you where you want to be, Mike Wise?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to FusionLore, where we explore the lore of FusionFall 30 minutes at a time, going over every mission to understand what's really going on. As always, I'm your host, your magical dealer, also known as Magic, and I'm also joined by my great friend, Matt, also named as Ars. Say hi, Matt.
What's up?
And in today's episode, we are going over the level 14 missions. A lot happened in these missions. We're gonna get cut off. I'm letting you know right now, there's no possible way we're gonna reach the point where we talk about everything. Because let's see, we're gonna talk about Belladonna. We got a lot to say about Belladonna. We're gonna talk about Toiletnator again. Matt loves Toilet. It's his favorite NPC, Toiletnator.
Oh, don't lie like that. Don't.
We're going to talk about nanos. We're going to talk about the world. It's been a minute since we've talked about the world of FusionFall. We really talk about the characters and fusions more than anything. But I have some thoughts I want to share about the world. So without further ado, Matt, what do you want to get started with?
I mean, we could just start nice and basic and get it started with the nano mission, like we usually do.
Okay, so we did a data mission. Bubbles, what was it called? Squirrel something?
Squirrel Squad.
Squirrel Squad, where we get introduced to what's the squirrel's name? I forgot.
Bullet.
Bullet. The squirrel of the Powerpuff Girls who got Chemical X, and he is an honorary Powerpuff Girl, the Powerpuff Squirrel. Mm-hmm. What was going on with Bullet, Matt?
Well, first of all, they were trying to capture Bullet, but before we get to that, so as it turns out, this is the first mention we have of fusions eating living things.
Oh God, I forgot.
Because the vial cabinets are terrorizing the harmless furry creatures and eating them. They're collecting them and eating them. Like, for what purpose? Who knows? But
well, we should say quotation marks eating, because like we don't know what eating consists of a fusion. Like, do they have anything? Is there anything inside those cabinets? If I open a vial cabinet, are there guts in there, or is it just inside of a filing cabinet?
I'd like to believe it's full of fusion matter that's digesting them, because at least how Bubbles says it. Bubbles says fuses monsters are terrorizing harmless furry creatures. The vial cabinets in City Station are collecting squirrels and eating them. You need to put a stop to this. So she quite literally meant eating them. I could assume she probably saw a squirrel get its head bit off by a cabinet, and maybe she's a little traumatized at this point. But
wait, why are they eating squirrels in the first place? Are they looking for a bullet? Is that why they're just squirrel? Get it?
Probably. Yeah, because the very next mission, at least the log update, is, hey, one of those monsters captured Bullet, our favorite superpowered squirrel. Is she okay? Bring her to me, please. And I had a theory that maybe they were trying to capture Bullet to make superpowered squirrel fusions where they can, like, you know, they run up your leg and enter your body and eat you from the inside out.
I don't feel like if it was simple as that, they wouldn't have to capture Bullet. They would just have to get something personal to Bullet and make a Bullet fusion.
So why are they capturing him?
It could be as simple as that they were getting Bullet to maybe get some of that Chemical X out of him to give to
the
fusions.
Powers.
Yeah.
Or they have the power draining device.
If Chemical X gave a regular squirrel superhero powers, imagine what it would do to a fusion who is already strong.
Yeah, that would be pretty insane.
And I was trying to think of why they were doing it in the first place. Like I said, they're like, were they trying to get Bullet? And I was like, how would they even know about Bullet? But then I just remember this is a nano mission. So the person who's leading the vial cabinets are fusion bubbles. So this is like a hard confirm that we've speculated in the past. This is a hard confirm that fusions do gain memories when created. Fusion Bubbles knows about Bullet because we were looking at a document earlier before we even recorded this episode, and like the document mentioned Bullet, and it was like only Bubbles can talk to Bullet. So that is now something that fusion bubbles can do, presumably.
Presumably. So with that knowledge in mind, maybe they were trying to capture Bullet to interrogate her.
No, to get the chemical X.
Well, yeah, but like you just mentioned, yeah, okay, to get the chemical X, but that wouldn't require fusion bubbles being able to talk to Bullet.
No, but I'm saying talking to Bullet is not the point that I'm harping on. It's the knowledge of Bullet itself. Fuse knows now about Bullet. If you were Fuse and you learn that there were 5, we don't talk about Bunny, 4 people who have chemical X in their bodies, because we already know that Fuse has tried and failed to capture Blossom. And now we know that he's captured this Squirrel. What do those two have in common? They're chemical X. We already learned from the Him Nano mission that Fuse is going after superhero people. We don't know exact reason why, but I think trying to get their superpowers is a pretty big point for what it could be.
I mean, in the same regard, the fact that Fusion Bubbles is using the vial cabinets in the first place, so yes, to capture Bullet and take away Bullet's powers and all that works in it all well and all that, but whatever. I think it's weird that, especially the fact that they were not only eating all the squirrels in the area, like sure, we could just chalk it up to capturing Bullet, but maybe it was possibly more sinister than that in a way, because it has shown that they don't really care. They'll do whatever it takes. Like they're going after the food supplies that's been well confirmed up until this point. We've had plenty of missions at this point that Fuse is after the water supply. So I wonder why else are they I guess capturing and eating all these squirrels, because I know we talked about how Grimm has turned off death in the world. So I wonder how exactly that works in their favor, and maybe in regards to how exactly are they killing them.
Well, we don't know if they're killing them. I think you're straying a little bit. I think they captured as many squirrels as they could to look for Bullet. I just looked up what Bullet looks like. I'll put it in the chat for you to look at. Bullet is just a normal looking squirrel. So it just could be like, get every squirrel you see in Townsville. Eventually, one of them will be Bullet. That's what Bullet looks like.
Okay. Does every squirrel have those big beady eyes? Like,
look. That doesn't translate into FusionFall. Everybody has normal proportions in FusionFall, but in Powerpuff Girls, every squirrel does have. Like, here's a picture of Bullet with their children. They all look the same.
Oh, are they all superpowered?
No, just Bullet.
Well, okay, so maybe I'm dragging it a little bit much, but I'm always trying to reach deeper into what's going on in the inner workings of Fuse and all his tactics that he uses to conquer the Earth. Because another interesting thing we saw was Fuse's actual character page in the old documentation for Cartoon Network when they were making this game.
Yeah, but a lot of that stuff was like pre-build. Like, I don't know if it's finalized. We'll touch on that. I don't think we're going to touch on it right now. When we learn more about Fuse, we'll see if it lines up, because I don't know if that actively went into the story. It was the original plan, though.
I mean, regardless, though, the very prospect of his origin is fascinating to me.
Oh, it's very fascinating.
It's like you're putting a spin on someone who already has some deep lore within the game, so it makes it seem like he's been around so much longer, and especially like okay, I'm just gonna bring it up just for the sake of bringing it up. It has an age in there that says ancient, and it corresponds with his origin of creation, and the fact that he's already been around for thousands of years, it shows that at least his origin can be surmised as a fact in the game at the very least, because he's been around for about 1,000 years at this point.
I look, I'm with you, Matt.
At least according to the lore.
Now is the time to talk about it. I think we're going to get more information on Fuse, and then we can reference that. But we got a lot of stuff we got to talk about now. Like Belladonna. We met.
Belladonna.
We went to the future, Matt. You remember who was in the future?
Oh, yeah.
Buttercup was in the future with us. She was doing missions with us while we were trying to fix the time machine. We had direct conversations with Buttercup multiple times. Not at one point in that time did she say, hey, by the way, when you get back to the past, I might be somebody else and I might have lost all my memories. Why didn't she tell us about Belladonna? Now, granted, we meet Belladonna and almost immediately does she like, hey, I might be this person. Can you go tell everybody else that I'm okay? But I still feel like she could have like warned us.
Yeah. Okay. Understandably so. But then again, with the time travel shenanigans that work in this game, technically speaking, we met her in the future. And meeting her in the future, she would have had no reason to discertain that, yeah, she lost her memory and she was a different person in the past, even if she even had an inkling of an idea that we were going into the past. Because she probably would have realized, hey, they're going to figure it out eventually.
What about her family? No. Blossom is over there coping, having picnics because she thinks her sister is gone.
And yes, I understand that too, but also the very fact of the matter is that the fact that she was Blossom and not Belladonna in the future shows that she eventually gained her memories back on her own, regardless of our intervention and regardless of us delivering those missions in the past.
Like I said, like when we meet her, it's a very fast, and like I don't know if we had any involvement in it all, because like we do a mission for her, and then very next mission, hey, you seem to know people who know me.
Yeah.
We didn't have any, and in fact, we do. What is the mission line we do for Ace? What is that mission line called?
Is it to data fusion?
To data fusion, right? We go through this whole rigmarole where Ace is like, you have to go defeat Fusion Buttercup so Belladonna doesn't get her memories back. Which I have three things to say about that, right? One, it's Fusion Buttercup. It's not Fusion Belladonna. So despite Buttercup not having her memories as Buttercup and having this new persona as Belladonna, her personal items still turn the fusion into Buttercup, which like that opens up a whole nother conversation. Like what is it? The memories passed into the item, like stored up to that. Like I have had this phone for 10 years, but I lost my memories yesterday. And now I'm Hendrix. My name is Hendrix now, everybody. But if a fusion stole my phone, they would turn into magic, because for 10 years, this phone has known me to be magic and not Hendrix. But say if I got a new item and I started pouring memories into that, would a fusion turn into Hendrix?
Well, okay. In the mission line Music and Mayhem 1 of 2, we get the personal item for Belladonna, and it's the jacket, right?
Yes, yeah.
And the robot says critical error. Belladonna's jacket data nearly identical to that of Buttercup Nano creation item. Deleting information to save space. So
you're right, because that's a new item. That's a new item, and it still has Buttercup's. Man, what is going on?
And mind you, we get Buttercup in the future. And it's just regular old Buttercup. So at that point, she had gained her memories back and started sporting her original look.
Yes.
But in the past, we get another mission line to get Belladonna Nano, and yes, the data is nearly identical to that of Buttercup Nano creation. When I say it says nearly identical, I think that is quite literally just the appearance of.
What do you mean?
Like the jacket in itself, and the fact that we in the future, because that's where we start chronologically speaking, we start in the future. We get regular Nano. It's unencumbered, unchanged. It's reminiscent of the original character design. Then in the past, where we are now chronologically, we get the jacket, and yes, it is similar, but it says the data is nearly identical to that of the Buttercup creation nano item. So I think in the past, being chronologically, it allows us to get a secondary or a tertiary version of Buttercup, in a sense, where it is the essence of Buttercup, but the amnesiac of, if that makes sense. It's a little deep, it's a little stretch, but I mean, it's the only way that makes sense, at least in the game, that we get two nanos of the same character, just one has amnesia and became a different person. Essentially.
That could work because we create Nano Buttercup in the future. We don't create her in the past.
Yes.
We are not at the point where we're talking about the Belladonna Nano mission, and I'm sure that's going to shed some light on this conversation. But for right now, I don't think we have enough tools to answer the question. I just don't. The other thing I wanted to talk about with the data fusion line, they're using that auditorium. That auditorium, the Sunny Bridges auditorium, is an infected zone.
Across the street.
The movie theater is across the street, but it's not an infected zone. And I got something to say about the movie theater too. But it's an infected zone.
Yeah.
And at first I was confused and I was like, okay, is this like a sequence break? Is it like, although it looks like an infected zone right now, it has not yet become an infected zone, and we're doing a mission line where we see it become an infected zone. But no. Almost in, I think it's like the second mission into data fusion. She's like, man, you got to go take out those fusion monsters. Their sounds are like giving me a headache. So she like acknowledges there are monsters in the auditorium infected zone, yet they are still practicing to go do a show. And in fact, we do a mission for number 1 where he's like, thank you for defeating all the monsters in the area. Now I can go watch the Gangrene Gang concert. What?
Listen. It's well established, at least up until this point, that fusion, at least the zones that we see that are really fucked up and they're always surrounded. Listen, they're always in use in some way, shape, and form. We're always getting missions in regards to protecting and maintaining the internals of whatever building may be surrounded. Especially if we go back to Habitat Homes. Like I forgot the monkey's name, but he was really, really excited to get back to class until he realized what that meant. You know, I'm just saying, it's well established that all these zones are still within usable standards, at least to our characters. And I guess, again, disentaining the fact that there is no real death or real risk of death in this world, people can go and enjoy a concert at an infected zone.
Oh,
screw it. You know, someone falls in the fusion matter, they just respawn and join the party again.
You're telling me you're in the middle of like a mosh pit and someone hits you a little too hard. You've taken too much damage from the fusion matter underground. You go, boop, nearest resurrect them. You're like, shit, let me run back to the concert real fast.
I mean, hey, there's a resurrectum right inside of the infected zone for a reason, right?
Oh my God. This dumbass world. Oh no, you see, and now I have to give Radio Raves a fucking compliment because he was right about the work-life balance, because you mentioned the movie theater right across the street from the Sunny Bridges auditorium or concert hall, whatever it's called. There's a movie theater and there are several people in the line and you can speak to them and they'll say like a little blurb, and one of them says something to the effect of like, man, I'm so tired after fighting Fusion's monsters all day long. Now I'm going to go watch a movie. The hard confirmed. Ding, 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 ding. It is confirmed. Radio was right. There are people who just like, fighting this war is a 9 to 5 for them. They're like, all right, I put in my shift. I killed about 500 monsters today. I'm finna go watch the latest Ben 10 movie, bro. I want to see what bro is up to, which is crazy because Ben is at Spaceport. So if that kid just walked like maybe 6 blocks over, he'd go talk to Ben himself. Fuck a movie.
Hey, they can't bother him. But hey, that's another fourth wall breaking. The fact that there's so much media coverage on the heroes within their own universes within this universe is kind of hilarious to me. Like, there's movies and comics on the war at large.
Man, what are you talking about? That's one of the most realistic things in this game. You ever seen The Boys? Have you seen The Boys?
I have seen The Boys.
You cannot tell me if we lived in a world of superheroes that they wouldn't also make movies about those superheroes. It would just be like a documentary, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it just be a documentary?
It would just be documentary, but I don't think all these people would just be watching documentaries.
I think like Saving Private Ryan, except it's been walking in as Humongousaur carrying Joe Schmo from Townsville Center. I brought him back, guys.
Don't worry. Just another day for the tenster. I don't know.
I'm
Some
telling you,
bullshit
it's,
like
it's
that.
the most. Out of everything that happens in this game, that is the very first thing that I can believe is that all these heroes have like licensing deals. I guarantee there's a
Probably.
Ben 10 video game out there somewhere and someone's playing it instead of fighting the war. Oh, I don't want to go
Honestly,
outside today. I already killed 50 monsters.
I can get behind that, but it's okay. To take it home, it's funny that we had to get a key card to show the guard inside of the auditorium.
No, see,
That was pretty
that one
funny.
too, because Ace was like, you got to go kill this fusion again. No, you got to come back to me. I'll give you a backstage pass so you can go fight Fusion Belladonna. Fusion Buttercup. Fusion Buttercup is already back there. I have been doing nothing but killing monsters up to this point of the game. Why do I need a pass to be like, hey, let me in so I can go kill that monster back there? Did he let the monster in? Or is this like a magnetic key card where it was like a locked door and the key card opens the door? Because both of them don't make sense. Because then how did Belladonna get in there? Or Fusion Buttercup? Man, I'm going to get so confused. How did Buttercup get in there?
Maybe we, technically speaking, lore-wise, maybe we do need a key card of sorts in order to be allowed to enter an infected zone. Hence why the robots are there to allow passage in and out. But at least in the context of the auditorium, maybe there was a reason we needed that.
It's dumb.
I don't know.
It
is dumb. But to move on from that point, we could talk about at least I'm Still Standing, which is pretty interesting.
That's what I was talking about earlier. When Belladonna's like, hey, turns out I'm somebody named Buttercup. Can you tell the other Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah. I just think it's cool how they handled it. It's like, losing my memories real drag. At least I feel like I never lost my memories before. I feel like that would be pretty accurate. Losing my memories would be a drag. But she rolls with the punches. Tell everyone I'm okay. I think that's pretty sweet. Gives the characters that we've interacted with up until this point some alleviation from the pain they were undergoing. And I think that's pretty sweet, at least in the lore implication of it all. Because I wonder if that means after Belladonna's appearance and Buttercup is now known to be back and okay, are our heroes going to be a little bit more serious about the fight against Fuse?
No. No.
One can hope.
What kind of a question is Matt, what game are we playing? Are we playing the same game? Has anybody been serious about this fight? Has one single person we've had a mission from been serious about what's going on?
Look, I understand where you're coming from, but granted, we are quite literally, we just made it to the halfway mark.
Did we?
Barely. No, actually, not even.
There's 36 levels, Matt. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, you're right. We're almost at the halfway mark. I'm thinking maybe missions are going to get a little more serious as we get.
I don't think the missions are going to be serious until we get to the Darklands. I mark my words. When we reach the Darklands, if they are not serious, if I get to Samurai Jack and this motherfucker is like, we need to have a picnic, I'm gonna lose my shit. Lose my shit. Oh
my god.
Okay, what else? Because so the rest of the missions we did. Oh yeah. So you remember that mission where we did Toiletnator's Tomfoolery, where he had us go steal the stingers from fusions and put them in outhouses, and we were like, fusions don't use the restroom. Why would this work? And then we were like, imagination energy. He wants them to work, so they will work. Turns out they worked because we do Toiletnator. We're finished the line for Toiletnator's Tomfoolery.
And they worked a little too well.
Because number 4 is like, hey, Toiletnator agitated the monsters. So did they go use the restroom, or just was the presence of the thing in the outhouse enough to annoy the fusions? Because I'm confused.
I think they used the outhouse. It's like okay, it's going back to that poster thing. It's the intention behind it is to propagate the word, make them feel immortalized in a way. The intentions were put up to make the Fuse's monsters and everyone in Fuse's army feel demoralized in a sense. And the Toiletnator put these spikes in the outhouses intentionally to target the fusion monsters. So I feel like they did end up using it just on the basis that like it works. Maybe like it attracted them, and then they didn't really understand why they were doing what they were doing, but maybe they did it anyway and got a little poke where the sun don't shine. Because not only did they get provoked, but someone else got provoked as well. Poor number 4.
Number 4 sat on this needle. He got a poke.
He got poked real bad. How?
Does no one look at the toilet before they sit down?
You tell him that he'd help by locking himself in one of his dumb outhouses.
He could get poked. You know,
he's mad.
Man, I hate to say it, but with each Kids Next Door member we meet after number 2, my opinion of them goes down. No one is top number 2. No one is top number 2.
Even number 1 was a big letdown. He just wanted to go to the auditorium and see a concert.
At least number 2 with his garlic peanut butter is out here beefing up the suburbs for Eddie. And number 1 is like, disgusting. Dog, I gotta go see this show. Man. Okay. After that, we do a mission for Ed, which I think is King of the Jungle. Is that what it's called? Or
yes. Or no, Treetop Troubles.
Treetop Troubles.
He is the King of the Jungle, though.
He is the King of the Jungle, which was very interesting to me because we did the guide missions. Correction. We suffered through the guide missions, and we learned about from Double D that there's this candy that makes you stupid, and we want to keep it out of Fuse's hands. I say it's interesting because when we go do this mission, it is directly referenced in Treetop Troubles because Ed is like, we have to get this candy out of here. I don't know why, but Double D said we shouldn't have it out here.
Yeah.
It is weird to me to have a mission mention something that you would not know about unless you did Double D's guide missions. If I chose Ben as my guide and I did this, I was like, I would be like, what is he talking about? What candy? There's candy.
I mean, okay. Okay. Granted, all it says is that we found some weird candy and the bladed mantises stole it. It doesn't necessarily directly reference that mission line, but it is with that prior candy. Knowledge. No, it is, at least in my head. You would have to make that connection on your own if you decided to choose Ed as your guide mission. It makes sense because it's the 3 Eds. They work in tandem together. It would make sense that lore implication wise, at least in the game, that a mission you get later on after doing some guide missions for Ed, it would be worded in a way where a person that didn't do it would just be like, okay, it's some weird candy. But for us, it's like, oh shit, that's the candy that makes dumb people dumber and smart people dumb.
I still think that's weird that, like, there is context for this, but if you don't choose Double D, which, let's be honest, I think Double D was chosen the least out of all options of the guides. So I feel 100%. Like a majority of people didn't know what this candy was. Like, honestly, be honest with me, Matt. If you were in this game, how many people
actually made the connection?
If you were in this game, Matt, and they were like, "Hey, you get to choose a guide," how likely are you to choose Double D over Ben 10, Dexter, and Mojo Jojo?
I mean, okay, you know something? I looked further down, and it also does say, "My kingdom is in peril. The dreaded bladed mantises came upon and took some of that weird candy we found that makes people go crazy and stuff. It tastes terrible, so don't eat it. Just get it back." This implies Ed just ate some just to try it.
You see, but he talks about it as if we already know about it. He said that weird candy, not like I found some candy and it's weird.
Yeah, okay, I can get. Listen, I don't think it makes sense why they would not show you that information, but at the same time, I think it's a little rewarding knowing that we went through at least Ed's guide mission line up until a certain point, and we were rewarded with the confirmation of a regular mission line, and we are able to go through that and experience it, like, oh, and make a reference to. I think it's rewarding in a sense. Maybe it was put there as a reward, as a little callback to the guide missions, but at the same time, not very many missions that we've ever had mentioned this candy to begin with.
You're right. That was timer though, and we're out of time.
It was timer, and
the last thing I'm going to end on is speaking of guide missions and information we wouldn't have. We do a mission for number 3 where we rescue baby monkeys and we take them to Mojo Jojo. Matt, I am so confident that Mojo Jojo is going to turn those monkeys into fusions.
Yeah, I know. I see it, honestly.
After learning that Mojo Jojo wants to experiment with fusion matter, and we now just delivered him baby monkeys that we rescued from the jungle. He is going to turn those monkeys into fusions. I guarantee it.
I know it's really fucked up to say it, but like that's terrifying. That he's still. I know he's an evil genius. I know his occupation is quite literally evil mastermind or whatever the case might be. But listen, that is fucked up. Baby monkeys. We rescued the baby monkeys, and I know this is like the whole reason why you wanted to start this podcast in the first place. You wanted to know why those monkeys were there in the first place. I think I very vaguely remember it. We were hanging out around Mojo's castle a couple years ago, and you just popped the question to me, and we started looking through the glass and looking down at them like, I wonder how they did end up the way they did, because they were so different for all the fusions that we've seen up to this point. And it's a nice callback to an earlier time.
Well, until next time.
Until next time.
I've been Magic.
I've been Oris.
Thank you to our production team, which we will say correctly this time.
From now on,
we will say their names correctly. Tin Bin Dog, Radio Raves, Lucia Lute for helping us put this show together. If you want to join our Discord, it's down below, as well as our socials and our production team's social.
Please leave a review. It helps us a lot.
And then, until next week.
If you ever pronounce someone's name wrong, you gotta apologize with a letter. We're gonna go write ours.
I'm not writing a letter. Until next time, don't give any babies to any supervillains. It's not a good idea. Don't give babies to supervillains.
Also, stay away from outhouses. Make sure you look down before you sit.
Bye, everybody.
Till next time.
My work is done.